What can the average citizen do to stand against an oppressive government? Here's a list of things an average citizen can do to stand up against oppression. First, get informed and educate others. Understand the issues. Learn about the problems in the system, whether it's related to government corruption, human rights abuses, economic inequality, or other issues. Knowledge is power. Second, peaceful protests and demonstrations. Join or organize peaceful protests. One of the most powerful ways to stand against oppression is by participating in or organizing nonviolent protests. The civil rights movement, for example, was largely nonviolent but had a profound impact on American society. Third, civil disobedience. Refuse to follow unjust laws. Civil disobedience involves peacefully breaking laws that are deemed unjust. Think of historical examples like Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat on a bus or Gandhi's Salt March. This strategy can highlight the injustice of the law and inspire others to join the cause. Support and join advocacy groups. Join or support advocacy organizations. Many organizations and grassroots movements work to challenge oppression, such as those focused on civil rights, environmental justice, or social reform. These organizations often have resources, campaigns, and a collective power that an individual might not have. You can also contribute financially to these organizations, helping them spread their message and reach a wider audience. Use technology to organize. Social media campaigns on platforms like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook are powerful tools for organizing and raising awareness. Hashtags, viral posts, and online campaigns can generate support quickly and spread messages globally. Encrypted communication. If the government is known for monitoring communications, use encrypted tools like Signal, Proton Mail, or VPNs to communicate securely with others. Crowdsourcing resistance. Online crowdfunding platforms can help support movements, protests, or legal defense funds. Boycotts and economic pressure. Boycott government or corporate entities. Organize or participate in boycotts of companies or services that support oppressive government policies. Economic pressure can force entities to reconsider their stance and align with the people. Support alternative economies. Support businesses and organizations that align with your values. By shifting your purchasing power to ethical companies, you're taking a stand against systems that contribute to injustice. Engage in the political process. Vote and encourage voting. Participating in elections, even on a local level, can help you influence government policies. Encourage others to vote, especially those who may be disenfranchised or unsure of their political power. Run for office. If you're in a position to do so, consider running for office or supporting candidates who advocate for change. This allows you to directly challenge the system from within, lobbying and petitions. Pressure elected officials by writing letters, calling them, or organizing petitions to bring attention to issues. Even small actions like this can accumulate into a bigger movement. Expose corruption and abuses of power. Whistleblowing. If you're in a position to uncover corruption or human rights violations, being a whistleblower can be a way to expose wrongdoing. There are legal protections for whistleblowers in many places, though it can be risky. Journalism and citizen reporting. Use your voice to report on abuses or corruption, whether through social media, independent journalism, or other forms of public information sharing. Exposing government misdeeds can rally support for change. Build community resilience, community solidarity. Strengthening community ties is vital. Build networks of people who support your cause, share resources, and are ready to act together when needed. Mutual aid groups. Create or participate in mutual aid networks where people help each other, especially in areas where the government fails to meet the needs of its citizens, like providing food, medical assistance, or housing support. Self-reliance. Communities that are less dependent on government structures may have more resilience. Supporting local economies, education, and care systems outside of government control can be a form of resistance. Create and support art, literature, and culture. Art as resistance, music, literature, visual art, and theater have historically been used as forms of protest. Songs, poetry, and visual campaigns can resonate emotionally, inspire others, and communicate resistance in ways that laws and policies cannot suppress. Stay calm, be patient, and build long-term strategies. Nonviolent resistance is key. It's important to remember that peaceful resistance has often led to lasting change, as seen with movements led by Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, or Nelson Mandela. Stay resilient. Oppressive governments tend to fight back hard. Be prepared for setbacks and stay focused on the long-term goal of creating a more just and equitable society. Building alliances. A revolution or movement for change can't happen in isolation. Work with people across different sectors, ideologies, and communities to build a broad coalition for change. Risks and considerations. Safety and legal risks. Standing up against an oppressive government can carry personal risk, including arrest, surveillance, or even violence. Be aware of the potential consequences and take measures to protect yourself, such as using encrypted communication, attending protests anonymously, or seeking legal support. Nonviolent resistance. Historically, nonviolent resistance has been more successful than violent uprisings, and it reduces the risk of retaliation by oppressive forces, but it requires strategic planning, unity, and resilience. How bad can an oppressive government get? The level of oppression can vary widely. At its worst, oppressive governments can eradicate basic freedoms. A government may suspend or completely remove fundamental freedoms, such as freedom of speech, press, and assembly. Totalitarianism. A totalitarian government seeks absolute control over all aspects of life, political, social, economic, and cultural. It often centralizes power, suppresses any opposition, and manipulates the truth. Famous examples include Nazi Germany under Hitler or the Stalinist Soviet Union. Militarization and violence. In some cases, governments will use military or police forces to violently suppress citizens. This can result in brutal crackdowns on protests, civil wars, or genocides. The use of state-sponsored violence is a tool to maintain control and eliminate perceived threats. Censorship and propaganda. Oppressive governments often control the media and spread propaganda to maintain power. They may censor the press, control educational institutions, and manipulate the information people receive to maintain control over their perception of reality. What to expect if you don't stand up to an oppressive government? Further erosion of rights. If citizens fail to resist, it often leads to further erosion of rights and freedoms. Laws become stricter, surveillance intensifies, and more people are punished for speaking out. Over time, even small dissent becomes dangerous. Dehumanization. In many cases, oppressive governments may intentionally dehumanize entire groups, creating conditions where marginalized people or dissenters are stripped of their rights, dignity, or even their lives. Possibly, severe repression. If people fail to resist, those in power may become emboldened. This can lead to even greater repression, where dissent is met with military crackdowns, imprisonment, or worse. If a government feels unchallenged, it might feel more justified in taking extreme actions against those who oppose it. While challenging an oppressive government may feel daunting, the actions of ordinary people, when organized and purposeful, can lead to meaningful change. Whether through peaceful protests, civil disobedience, supporting human rights organizations, or using technology to spread awareness, there are many ways to stand against oppression in 2025. The key is to remain committed, build solidarity with others, and never lose sight of the long-term goal of justice and freedom. Comment below if you have any ideas to share. Hit the notification button so you don't miss any of our videos and subscribe if you haven't done so already.